Live from New York.
He's gonna fit it in.
It's the show that learned a valuable lesson. Be careful what you wish for.
How?
We've got Title Pie coming up.
Oh.
And I'm like, last episode with a pie. The pie slows the segment down. And I said, Dusty, what type of pie did we get? He said, well, we didn't get one this time. I said, why not? I said, it was the last one. He's like, you said you didn't want it. So pies are gone.
Wow. That's good for Brew.
It is good for me. I'm trying to eat better, watch my weight, and the mud pie is tough to resist.
Brew's got a wedding to attend.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
you can lose weight at the wedding. So many activities.
Yeah, right.
I mean, the dancing.
It's going to be great.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
For goodness sakes, it's panic time. 3 from Royce O'Neal fell with a second to go to give the Suns the win, give the Lakers their third straight loss. J.J. Redick on the other end designs up a cool play. Yeah, great play to get a 3 for Austin, but he misses it. It's a good try, though.
For .9 down 3, that's
sick
about
play.
as good as you can hope for.
Lakers now in 6th, only a game ahead of the Suns, who won last night without Dillon Brooks or Devin Booker. Did they win?
No, listen.
Did they win that game?
I think he's talking about within the game.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
he
J.J.
won the
Redick.
They were down. Yeah, they were down.
I've got breaking. I got breaking
whatever.
news. J.J. Redick continues to be J.J. Redick. I just like for J.J. Redick. If you're a sports fan, J.J. Redick's been in your life for 20-some years.
I like him.
No, I'm not even. This is not an insult.
Yeah, 20.
It's just an observation. Like
from
his
Duke?
right from he was a super famous college player. He was probably at his lowest level of fame early in his NBA career, and then he
had a solid career.
He had a solid career, and then right into the media where he was, and now listen, he's smug. And he's always been smug, and I think he'd tell you he's smug. Sure. And so it is not surprising that he is not necessarily the best at the podium when things aren't going well. That doesn't shock me. I do think the 2 Laker games we've talked about at the end of the games, he's drawn up 2 awesome either game-tying or game-winning shots. One Luka didn't take, one Austin took and just didn't make. But I am going to go, I guess, little picture for a moment and pick at one thing about J.J. Redick outside of the press conference stuff. I think he needs to have the strength in his convictions to give Luka the Steph Curry treatment at the end of games, which is there was a timeout with the Suns having the ball, tie game, final possession. And there aren't a lot of MVP caliber in their prime guys who get sat on the bench for those spots, offense, defense substitutions. But one of them is playing right now and is a universally regarded all-time legend in Steph. There was no reason for Luka to be on the court if there's a timeout before that possession. None whatsoever, especially because the Lakers had a timeout of their own where if they were to have scored early, you can just call timeout yourself and get him back on there. That does not fix all of the Lakers' problems. It's not all of it.
But I agree
But
with
I'm just going to admit to the audience, I fell asleep last night before this game ended.
So did Luka.
So
Okay.
all right.
Now you're hard.
So I didn't see the very end. So I woke up this morning. First thing I saw was the final possession.
Yep.
And I assumed it had happened in the flow. Like the Lakers missed, the Suns went down, and you didn't get a stoppage. And then when I went back and rewatched the second half of the game and I saw what happened, I'm like, that's just a mistake. Yeah. That's just a mistake.
LeBron
there are
was at
bigger
center.
issues. Right, that you've got to go offense, defense, because Luka getting beat off the dribble at the point of attack is not that surprising, which led to the breakdown, which led to the open 3.
Yes, you are absolutely right. There it is right there. LeBron has to come over and help, so he's out of, now the rotation is all jacked up, and you see what happened. The question is, am I surprised that they lost to the shorthanded Suns? Considering the fact, what do you think I was about to?
No, I like this. I like this setup.
Considering the fact that the Lakers had lost their previous 2 games, and the noise was starting to get a little loud, to use Redick's term. All right. Considering the fact that Phoenix is a team you are battling for that sixth
to stay out
and
of the play-in.
final, playoff spot at least before the play-in. Considering the fact that Phoenix had their two best players and two leading scorers, Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker, out, and considering the fact that Phoenix had lost 7 of its last 11 games, and considering the fact that Phoenix, without those two guys I mentioned, has averaged, Nick, 87 points a game in regulation in their previous 4 games. And they put 113 on you? I mean, we know the defense is bad. But considering all of those factors, yes, I'm surprised that the Lakers lost this game. And here's the deal.
I thought we were getting into
Are you kidding me?
KW. I thought that whole thing was a setup for a misdirection.
What in the world?
KW and I are looking at each other.
We're all trying not to laugh.
God darn
Are
it.
you joking? You're just doing regular analysis?
You don't get it.
What?
That was a misdirection.
Oh, God darn it. Now
I got you looking.
Oh, I got mobbed.
I got you looking for the misdirection.
Oh, I got mocked big time. Right?
Both of y'all. It's been a while since I got Nick.
Oh, wow.
I got
All right,
Nick
go
too.
ahead. Sorry.
But no. So you don't know where
No,
I'm
we
at.
don't.
know.
We don't. I'm thrown off.
I will say this, though. I have been critical of Luka Doncic, who last night, by the way, had 41, 8, and 8, I think it was.
pretty good.
Should be enough.
Right? Okay, he puts up his numbers. But I've been critical of him for his just incessant complaining with the referees, his ball dominance and, one-way style of playing, heliocentric, whatever you want to call it, and his lack of defense. I've pointed out even how the numbers with LeBron on the court don't look that good, that they're negative, all right? Now, I got to look at J.J. Redick. J.J. Redick, I get it that your team, I've said, the pieces don't fit together. But your job as a head coach is to figure out the best way for the players you have to play. All right? And anytime, Nick, if you're coaching against me and you have the worst players and I have the best players and you beat me, you outcoached me, period. You got 2 all-stars. You got one super-duper all-time great player, and I mean Luka.
Yes.
In his prime, and then in LeBron, who's still playing great.
And Austin's better than anyone
Yes.
the Suns had last night.
You got
Like,
two
as far-
all-stars and another all-star caliber player
correct.
in Doncic, or in Reeves. So you have to figure it out. And I look, I'm not saying it's easy, but they're paying you millions of dollars because it's not supposed to be easy. Can you start to talk to Luka Doncic? And they couldn't do it in Dallas. So I'm not easy, but can you start to talk to Luka Doncic about, we got to play a little differently?
Well, so what do you make of this graphic, Brew? Can I show you something real quick? The usage rates. So last year, Luka's at 34, Reeves at 24, Bron's at 30. This year, Reeves went up, Luka's career high, and Bron's career low. So, Luka this year, LeBron is, people can say he should have the ball even less than he does. I don't agree, but fine. It's the lowest he's ever had it in his career.
This is just Luka with the Lakers, right?
No, this is, no.
Yeah, that's this season and last
But
season.
last year, it's his number for the full year.
Full year,
Oh,
okay.
For the full year. Oh, just the Lakers. Just the
okay.
Lakers. Thank you. Sorry. I did not expect, and again, I agree with you, Brew. I think criticism of Luka is fair. I think in some quarters it has gone too far. I don't know if you remember, KW, but I predicted last year at the end that Luka was going to fall out of people's top 5s or top 10s. And now,
Definitely not out of the top 10.
No, but
Simmons
and Kellerman did a whole thing today about how Jaylen Brown's just better than Luka Doncic. That is where right now he is at his lowest in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
And I think some of that is overstated. I also did not expect, Brew, his usage this year to go up from any year it was in Dallas. I didn't expect that.
I don't necessarily think that's by design, but I do think that is the head coach just letting him do whatever he wants to do. And LeBron's going along with it, and Reeves is going along with it. And so, again, and when you're a bad defensive team, that's on coaching too. Now, you don't have the greatest defenders, obviously, and the greatest athletes, but still, you can create a mindset where they have to defend. And I agree with you. I had that on. You see my sheet? I'm going to take it from there.
I can't read it,
yeah.
but there's a lot
he should have had Jared Vanderbilt in the game. Whether you want to take Luka out or you could take Austin Reeves out. They're both horrible defenders. At that last play where Phoenix scored, one of them should have been out and Jared Vanderbilt should have been in. That's what he's there for.
Correct.
6'8", long defender. So Redick needs to look in the mirror because the last two coaches they had, the last one got, and I'm not saying he should be on the hot seat, but the last coach got fired for getting them to the Western Conference Finals, Darvin Ham. The coach for him won a championship and got fired. J.J. Redick got eliminated in the first round of the playoffs last year in 5 games. So I'm not saying he's on the hot seat
sub.
or should be right, and had some unprecedented playing rotation. But J.J. has to look in the mirror. I almost feel like, and I don't want to keep going on, like they're looking toward next year.
Yes.
Maybe not consciously, but certainly
Definitely
subconsciously.
conscious.
That to me is unacceptable.
Well, I just mean I
feels
don't think
like it
they're
when you are watching the games.
I don't feel like they're like, we don't care about this year, but because they are so focused on next season,
I totally agree with
it is bleeding into this year.
Just quickly, I wanted to give people an update on Clint Capela gate.
I love this.
Clint Capela,
Wise words from him.
yes, felt like, Ayton took a shot at him, and I thought this was kind of gracious. You've got 2 of the best floor generals in the game, my dog. Lock in.
Yeah.
And
That's great.
He's right.
Yeah.
It's great advice.
Also, Josh made
absolutely
this graphic on how they did last night. Ayton, who does not want to be Clint Capela, and the real Clint Capela, who is Clint Capela, had 4 points,
And also
6 rebounds,
Clint-
and
4
4
blocks.
blocks.
The Lakers would love that.
And
line.
Clint Capela, by the way, is not, again, Hubs is going to kill me. We don't need to spend more time on Clint Capela. But Clint Capela is old now and at a different phase of his career.
Yes.
Young Clint Capela was very valuable and knew his role great and made himself $100 million in this league, knowing how to do his role.
Lakers in Golden State next up. Meanwhile, back to Houston where Clint Capela plays. Rockets win and Durant hits a milestone. He becomes the 6th player in league history to get to 32,000 points. Also became the 6th player all time to get to 32,006 points. He scored 40. That's just how the math worked out. After the game, Reed Shepherd said 32,000 is wild. Thank you, Reed.
That's it.
That was the quote. Most 25 points per game seasons. LeBron's at 20, KD's at 17, Jordan at 12, Kobe at 12, and then Karl Malone also at 12. So is KD the best scorer of this generation?
I have what I think is a very controversial opinion, even though to me it's very obvious. No, he's second because LeBron is in his generation. And I will just kind of machine gun at you numbers. KD for his career is at 27.2. Bron for his career is at 26.9. So KD has him there. LeBron is at 50.5% field goals. KD's at 50.2. So Bron has him. However we want to do the, age piece of it, at this point in Bron's career, he was also at 27.2. And so the last few years
is going to
dipped down, and Durant might play for forever. But this is what I think. And by the way, Durant got to 32,000 in his 1,178th game. LeBron got there in his 1,179th game.
Wow.
Which is really, that's crazy. Isn't
that's
that? Which also means if Durant just had a regular scoring night last night instead of going off the way he did, they would have done it in the exact same.
Holy cow, that's amazing.
But this is the thing that I think people will be surprised by. Seasons averaging 30. Durant 2. Bron 3. Playoff runs averaging 30. Durant 3. Bron 6. LeBron has has 575 career 30-point games. Durant has 430. Now he's played more, obviously, but I don't think percentage-wise that much more. Playoff games scoring 30. LeBron 123. Durant 77. LeBron has more 40-point games. LeBron in the playoffs has scored 40 29 times. Durant 14 times. Again, LeBron's played more, but he hasn't had a twice as long career. LeBron has scored 50 14 times, Durant 9 times. LeBron has scored 60, Durant hasn't. And so I think these are, obviously two of the greatest scorers ever. I think because LeBron does it differently and because he doesn't have a silky jump shot, people don't look at him as a scorer. But I think the all-time leading scorer is the greatest scorer, certainly of this generation.
Oddly, that is a hot take.
But it is a hot take.
No, it is.
It's like a wildly hot
The guy
take.
with the most home runs is the best home run. I disagree.
And
No, because best scorer ever
Feels
is
different.
so subjective.
Yes.
And what is your criteria? It's like bag. What's your bag? Is it just handles? Is it your moves around the rim? Is it scoring in trap? Whatever. But I think people, because this is a common
Correct.
view that Durant is the best scorer of his generation. Some say the best scorer ever. And I think they're just focusing on that he does have a phenomenal jump shot, especially for a 7-footer. And he's got the handles. I used to say before he went to Golden State, I used to say he's like a 7-foot version of Steph. Because he can take you off the dribble. He can finish at the rim. He's got the incredible jump shot that you can't even disrupt because of his height. I hear you on LeBron, and I've made similar comments as far as Shaq was a great scorer. I don't care that all he did was dunk and little jump hooks. You couldn't stop it, right? I think the argument against LeBron is in terms of scorer, people would say he didn't have the greatest jump shot, particularly for a good stretch of his career. His jump shot wasn't good. And earlier in his career, you could, even parts of his prime, you could
Play off him.
Yeah, that's what San Antonio did in the finals a few times, and it gave him trouble. I have two issues, and I'll say this too. If LeBron or Jokic, because how is Jokic not a great scorer? Like, Jokic can hit the three, can post you up, can shoot the mid-range, he can do whatever he wants. If they only scored, if LeBron and Jokic only scored.
If they were worse passers.
Yeah, worse passers, worse
the Steph
playmakers. And then maybe they would be viewed more as just scores, you know. LeBron, again, the lack of that jumper early in his career notwithstanding. But I'm fine with saying Durant, if you want to say he's the best scorer, if you have your definitions, just jump shot and things like that. I've got two issues, though, with Durant. Like, I think Jordan's clearly the best scorer of all time. Like, I don't even think it's debatable. But Durant, my two issues with Durant as a scorer, one, and we've talked about this, he should shoot more threes in this day and age. Now, I get it earlier in his career when it wasn't as big of a part of the game. The last 3 years, he shot 40% plus from three. Yep. His career, he's 39% from three. He's shooting, the last 3 years, he shot less than 6 3-pointers a game. All right? He should be at 8 or 9. And I get it, and I've said it before, I get it. You and your rhythm, your whole life coming up early in your NBA career, you were shooting the mid-range. So your rhythm is in there. Mm-hmm. But you know what? You got a bunch of off seasons when you saw the game is going to the 3-point line. Yeah. He should have worked on that to the point where he was now in rhythm for 8, 9, 10 3-point shots a game.
Like Nets all-time leading scorer Brook Lopez did.
Exactly.
He adjusted his game.
Adjusted it.
The second thing with Durant is, and this is why, I don't think he's the best scorer ever. Physical play, I've watched physical play bother him. And I particularly point back, there could be other instances, but when he was with the Nets and the Celtics swept him, and they played physical defense with him, kind of 90s style, and he had trouble. He shot 38% from the floor, was turning the ball over. Physical play could bother him. So when people say you can't defend him, you can slow him down and make him inefficient if you really get into him, which they would have been doing in the 90s. So all-time great scorer, phenomenal player, top 20 player of all time. But
the scorer
I wouldn't
thing
say the
goes
best
weird
scorer
because I think a lot of people watching right now are like, when I said Bron, they're like, Carmelo was a better scorer than LeBron. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people have.
I hate to say it, I agree with
Yeah,
you.
I knew you were going to say that.
KD is 292 points behind Jordan, so we'll revisit this at the end of the month.
That's amazing.
Yeah, March 23rd, if everything goes to plan. News out of Dallas, franchise tag for George Pickens. He'll make $27.3 million next year. Maybe for the Cowboys, maybe for someone else. Only one tag to go around, so that means your guy, Brandon Aubrey, Nick, won't get tagged.
No.
Here's Pickens' stats last year. 9th in targets, 8th in receptions, 3rd in yards, 3rd in yards per reception, and had 9 touchdowns. So, do you like this move?
Yeah, I like it in the interim. Just one clarification. He will only make this money for Dallas because if he gets traded, the team's got to give him a new deal.
Immediately?
You can't trade him. That's part of it.
I didn't realize
you can't
that.
But he also can negotiate with other teams.
Correct. He can negotiate with other teams, and then if a team can flat take him from Dallas for 2 first-round picks. That will absolutely not happen.
What are the years on those picks? Like
It's this year and next year.
But that's
or the next 2 years. No, it hasn't. That's never happened for certainly a non-quarterback, and I don't know who it's happened for. But what can happen, Brew, is he can negotiate
if
with
Dallas
a team, and then that
match
team can go to Dallas and be like, what do you want for him? And that's what should happen.
Right.
Listen, Jerry Jones, you won the George Pickens trade. You got George Pickens for essentially a 3rd-round pick. You got a super productive year at $3 million, and now you are able to trade him for assuredly a 2nd-round pick. What a great trade.
Did it.
You turned a 3rd-round pick into a 2nd-round pick and a super productive season from a player.
Perfect.
That's what you should do. Right? Because what Bruce said the other day is correct. Like, you have other glaring needs. You don't actually have this huge surplus of draft capital post the Micah trade anymore because you then made the Quinnen Williams trade. You also already have a very expensive wide receiver who, even though he wasn't last year better than George Pickens, I believe CeeDee Lamb's a better, more reliable player than George Pickens. And so I like this move as a placeholder to a trade. I will not like this move at all if they don't entertain trades and this turns into a 4-month offseason saga because George Pickens is not going to report under the franchise tag.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what if Pickens somebody gets in his ear and makes sense to him? Like, look, the last few games where you kind of got lackadaisical, that hurts you. Why don't you go out, have another great year? You're going to make $30 million this year. And then next year you play well.
Then it's fine.
You would be fine with them just keeping Pickens.
If George Pickens was like, I am thrilled to be a Dallas Cowboy and play for this 1-year deal, and I'm going to be here for the offseason, and I'm happy. If George Pickens were happy about this, then I'd be fine with it. But I just don't think that's a realistic scenario.
Well, look, I would love it if you said it's not going to happen, but if another team negotiated with Pickens during this time and made him an offer, and then the Cowboys declined it and got the 2 first-round picks. I think that'd be great. Because my whole thing, and I think Pickens is more talented than CeeDee Lamb. Like, he's not more reliable, but last year he was better than CeeDee Lamb. If I could get that George Pickens every year, like you do with every other great receiver, right?
You can't.
Yeah, I would be fine with. But if I'm the Cowboys, I've got too many holes elsewhere. You're going to have 2 really highly paid receivers. Your quarterback's the highest paid in the history of the game. You got a few other. Brandon Aubrey's going to be making some money. Like, how you going to build out that defense? You're going to be Bengals South, and so. I agree that if Pickens is happy, okay, I'll take it. But the team's not going to be very good. Offense is going to be a light show. But your defense is going to be a light show, too, for the other team. And so I would trade him and try to get some defensive players.
Who should call?
Who should call for George Pickens? I think the 49ers should call.
49ers, correct.
They're on your list? Oh, wow.
Yes.
I think Baltimore should call.
Baltimore's
not Buffalo?
I think Buffalo is once bitten, twice shy on that kind of
mercurial.
The personality.
New England?
I don't think that's a fit. I'm trying to.
So. Because of the personality?
I mean,
Diggs is a fit.
I like Diggs was locked in.
I mean, look, Pickens. There's a reason he's not signed. I mean, we get it.
Yes.
So
the Mike Tomlin.
No,
Goodbye weighs heavy on my mind. A fresh round of over-unders, 49ers, Chargers, and the Raiders, which, maybe. Some people believe in them. Start with Brock Purdy's often injured squad, bro. 12-5 last year. Before the year, they did have the easiest schedule in the whole league.
It ended up being tough.
Well, over-under is 10.5 non-division opponents, Broncos, Raiders, Eagles, Commanders, Dolphins, and Vikings at home. Then on the road in Dallas, Kansas City, the Chargers, the New York Giants, and the Atlanta.
And 4 against Seahawks and Rams.
Yeah.
Which I'm not on there because we don't show the division, but that's a
it's
tough spot.
Who against the
schedule.
Cardinals.
Yeah. That is true.
Over-under 10.5, bro. This is your team, kind of.
It's tough because with them, health is always an issue. Always, all right? But they're like the team version of Anthony Davis.
Great take.
You got to throw it out there.
Great take. How long you been sitting on
No,
that?
it just
The
came to
team
my
version
head.
of Anthony
It popped
Davis.
into my mind. But
If they're
I'm
healthy.
going to give them, when they're healthy, Kyle Shanahan wins 3 of the last 4 years they've been healthy. He's won 12 plus games, 12 or more games. 2 years ago they weren't, they win 6. I'm going to say they're going to be healthy. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa will be back. Ricky Pearsall will play 14 games.
Were they
15
even
games.
healthy last year?
No.
I was going to say they weren't, and they still
Right,
won
and they
12
still.
games.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over. Look, I hate losing Robert Saleh. Good for him. He's got the head job in Tennessee, but he was a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And now they'll get the starters back or some of their best players back, but still, you got to have the right scheme. But I'm gonna go over because I think they'll be healthy, and when they're healthy, they win games.
Under.
Really?
I hate losing Salah. I would hate even more losing Trent Williams, who
So
they
when is
might.
Trent Williams going to fall off the cliff?
But he hasn't yet, and Trent Williams is a future first ballot Hall of Famer on the field and a future first ballot Hall of Famer at the bank. He is very good at making sure he's going to get
He's gonna be
paid.
37?
And I also think that's the
But they need him.
salary.
They
I think
need
that's
him.
his age and salary.
No,
They need him.
And so that concerns me greatly. I don't love the wide receiver room as much as
Not
others.
great.
And
Does somebody love it? Without IU?
okay, no,
They
no,
got to
no.
upgrade it.
No,
It's good, but they got to upgrade
okay,
it.
so and I don't even know that I think it's good, is I guess what I'm saying. And I am terrified for Christian McCaffrey next year. They used him like a mule all year. That was every full screen we showed. It's like, well, on a per touch basis, not that good, but he sure gets a lot of touches, so maybe he's the MVP of the league. So all of those things plus the brutal division it felt like the defense overachieved its talent because of Salah. Now you're right, they should get those guys back from injury, but I love Shanahan, but that's an under to me.
Trent Williams will be 38 in July.
Okay, yeah.
You think the 49ers are going to sign up and give him 30?
No, he's already under contract.
Oh, he's already under.
No,
I thought he was
No, he is under contract for, I think the cap hits like $39 million next year.
Got you.
They want him to take a pay cut, and he's like, I'm still your best player.
Right.
Yeah, no, he
And
shouldn't.
so you're
But
right.
he's definitely playing. He said last year he was playing, late last season.
Oh, he's going to play.
Yeah,
the
still
question
good.
is whether or not he's going to all of a sudden hit free agency.
It's this weird mix of like the Patriots, for example, obviously need to fortify their line. Do you want to give 38-year-old Trent Williams?
For 1 year, maybe, but
Yeah, 1 year.
you can
Scary.
have Will Campbell play his natural position left guard.
No, Will Campbell's not moving.
Well, then they're not in the Trent Williams sweepstakes because he's a left tackle.
Maybe for Trent Williams. I'm taking the over.
Okay.
You took the over last year based on schedule alone, and you were right.
I feel like doubting Kyle Shanahan and your guy Brock Purdy is just a bad decision. Next up, depending on what block of the depending on what block of the show you're catching, either Justin Herbert is God's gift to football or maybe the 12th best quarterback in the league. Here are his opponents next year. Cardinals, Texans, Patriots, Jets, 49ers at home, and then on the road in Baltimore, Buffalo, the Rams, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay.
Look at those road games. Look at those road games, plus in Kansas City and Denver.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that with a passion.
And those home games aren't no treat either. Some of them are, but you have home games against Kansas City and Denver, Patriots, greatest
49ers.
defense of all time, the Texans, 40.
I gotta be honest. It feels like every schedule we've thrown up over the last 3 or 4
hate to
days
say it,
has been like, wow, that's a tough
Because
schedule.
here's the thing, because
doing the good team.
yeah, and the way the divisions broke as far as which division plays which division, a lot of the teams we don't talk about a ton have like, oh my God, they have the Patriots schedule from last
Easier
year.
schedules.
And then, yeah. And so I'm the under for I don't like them losing Jesse Minter. I don't like that schedule at all. And 10 wins is, the Chargers typically, last year they won 11, typically are a 9 or a 10 win team.
Yep.
Both of those would be the under. And, the coordinator lost the tough division, the tough schedule, to me is an under.
Look, at the risk of sounding like Danny Parkins, I am a strong over. I'm high on
Really?
the Chargers.
Yeah,
I was high on them
Herbert
last
maybe winning
year.
MVP.
When Slater went down, I cooled a little bit, but I think they're the best team in that division. All right, and assuming they have both of their tackles back, Slater and Joe Alt. Harbaugh is just a great coach. I mean, he's a great coach, and I hear you about Minter, who was great for their defense, but Harbaugh doesn't have bad defenses. In San Francisco and with the Chargers, he always has a top 10-ish defense or better. Now Mike McDaniel's going to team up with Justin Herbert. Unless Herbert just is not that guy. And I think he'll be that guy in the regular season. Now, we'll see about the playoffs. In the regular season, I think he'll be great, and he'll have a phenomenal season, and I'm going over with them.
Don't pop my answer because what I wrote and I've reconsidered. Are they going to sweep the Chiefs?
No,
Are they going to sweep the Broncos?
probably
They
not.
could sweep the Chiefs. They swept them last year.
One game without, was Patrick Mahomes there for both games?
Yes.
Yes, he was. It was
Well,
week 1 of the season,
game he got
and
hurt.
it was the game he got hurt. Which,
thought
again,
he
we
was
don't
gonna-
know
he
how
played
that was
most
going
of
to
that
win
game.
They're down 3 ball in Mahomes' hands, still alive for the playoffs, everything.
You lose to the
Blows out.
Texans. You scored 3 points against the Patriots. You'll lose to them. The Ravens, Bills, Rams are losses, and the Seahawks are the world champs. You'll lose to them. That's 8 losses. Lose once to Denver, lose once to Kansas City. Under.
Do it. Okay, you're going to be wrong.
Why didn't you want to pop your
I'm
answer?
telling you.
Because I originally had written over in my document. I didn't realize it was a moderate, easy change.
Oh, okay.
You just saw the schedule.
I got bad news if you're a Raiders fan, like our friend Hubs. The poor Raiders have the 7th toughest schedule.
Because it's who they play, yeah, the division.
Yep, it's because of who they play.
No, I mean, right.
Nailed it.
Because of who they play in the division.
New coach, new QB, new win total. They only won 3 games last year, but they're at 5.5 this year. Home against the Bills, Rams, Dolphins, Seahawks, and Titans. Uh-oh. On the road against the Cardinals, Browns, Patriots,
Those
Saints.
aren't, that's not
Yeah,
a
that
brutal
road doesn't look tough.
Cardinals,
When you're a
Browns,
bad
Saints,
team.
Jets is not a rough
No.
road slate.
No.
Saints are
Titans
my
at home.
sleeper squad.
Dolphins.
Jets also my sleeper
It's
squad.
just that they're a bad team, so any schedule looks tough. Under. All right, and I get it. 5.5 is,
It's a tiny number.
I know, but the division's tough. They could go. They'll probably win one division game.
Against who?
I mean, they'll upset somebody.
I mean, it's rare a
Tough
team goes
division,
0 for
yeah.
6 in the division.
I don't.
Chiefs.
It
Don't
could
let
be
the
the Chiefs.
Chiefs
It
go
depends
0
on what the
6 in
Chiefs
the
are.
division.
Don't let the
Oh.
Raiders beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, go ahead.
But no, I'm in under. I think you got a new coach. You've got a rookie quarterback. We'll see if they have Max Crosby, one of their, corner posts. So I think it's just tough sledding in Vegas for now.
Totally agree.
All right.
And that division,
Don't do it.
Predicting
We're going to
them
make
to
fun
make
of
the
you all
playoffs
year.
again.
Deeply annoyed because me saying that I think the Raiders can go 6-11
We're gonna
is
rip you.
just gonna make you guys
All
be
year.
like,
Last year
Nick's
you had
the
them in the
Raiders
playoffs.
guy for next year. This past year I was, and I was wrong.
Don't do it. Just
I'm
say
going
under.
over. It's 5.5. It's 5.
What a gift.
It's
What a gift.
It's
The content
5.5.
gods.
I
Yep.
do not think that Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly did a bang-up job last year, so I think they'll be better there. They will I think Geno could be there for the beginning of the year, and then
That's
they go
not
to
gonna be
Mendoza.
good.
I think, listen, Geno had a bad year. I don't think Geno's a bad player. I don't.
But he's 35. Like he may have had his little run.
No,
those 3
that's
years.
possible. But again, really bad teams. The Vikings won 8 games last year. Like you just talked about the Saints. They won 8 games last year. The winning 6 games is not that
Saints
hard.
were in a bad division.
I hate to say it, the Raiders won 3 last year.
I know they were terrible.
And one of them was against the Patriots, who went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is to the point that you can even, just steal a win. New coach, I didn't think that schedule was overwhelming. And, if Mendoza's ready immediately, that's good. If not, you have Geno. I still like Genty. I think it'll be an improvement.
I don't know how
staff. I'm not going to pick him to go to the playoffs again. But again, 6 wins is what we're talking about here. 6 wins.
But in that division, 6 wins is a nice little number.
Hubs, can you throw their schedule up there
The
again?
Chiefs had 6 wins last year.
I understand.
So do you think the Raiders are going to be as good as the Chiefs?
No, again, that's
just
not,
6
that
win
is such
teams.
with respect, that's such a ridiculous way to phrase it.
Well, 2 6-11 teams.
So here's what I think. Let's say we're right that they win 1 divisional game.
Okay.
1 divisional game. And these are not all wins. I'm just listing games.
Give me five.
Dolphins, Titans, Cardinals, Browns, Saints, Jets. That's 6 games. Can you go against those 6 teams 4-2? Against again, Cardinals, Browns, Jets, Titans, Dolphins, and
So then you get to 5, but then you need another,
so then you're at
another
5,
one.
and then 1 surprise like the Patriots.
I'm going to use your own thing against you.
Not bad. I don't hate that.
You know what the Cardinals, Browns,
Yes, they're all excited.
They're
to see
saying the same thing.
I agree.
Look at the Raiders.
I
We
agree,
can't
but
beat
I'm
the
just telling
Raiders.
you as a lifelong gambler, you know what people do? They look at the projected win totals, and the good teams, they just bet the over, and the bad teams, they bet the under, as if those win totals are not set, with some forethought. It's 5.5. It's got to be the lowest number in the league, or second lowest number in the league. I'll take the over. Or the
Titans didn't get there. I mean, why are they different than the Titans are with Cam Ward?
Because Cam Ward showed you something at the end of the season.
No,
I'm saying, but Cam Ward didn't get to 5 wins last year.
No,
right.
of course they. Yes, and a lot of bad teams got to 7. Is my point. Teams that we think are awful found their way to 7 wins. I'm talking about 6
he
wins.
loves him some Raiders.
I knew they were going to do this.
It's your
to me.
squad, dude.
I mean,
This
right.
is
I can't believe
unfair.
this.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.